The key performance indicator. So we already knew that the KPI is used to measure performance over time. So on this output, I chose customer satisfaction from customer's perspective. If we can improve our customer satisfaction, then it is given that we can also have customer retention. So the specific people who can have access on this were the stakeholders, the F&B department, and the sales department. The stakeholders has the most important responsibility when it comes to monitoring the business. And of course, if we talk about customer satisfaction, there are two areas that are correlated: the food and beverage department and the sales department. The F&B department is responsible for taking care of the customers and making sure that the service that they provide meets the needs and the standards of the customers, while the sales department's main job is to maintain the existing sales and making sure of attracting customers. For the key performance question, the question for the customer satisfaction is, what percentage is the rating of our customers when it comes to our service? And for the customer retention, what outcomes do we plan to achieve? And next, how will and won't this indicator be used? For both of the factor, the indicator will be used to assess the data from the survey both internally and externally. The indicator name for measuring the customer satisfaction would be the first response time, or the FRT, and for the customer retention would be the customer retention rate, or the CRR. On the data collection method, we should use the customer satisfaction score to measure the customer satisfaction, and for the customer retention, we should use the formula of CRR is equals to E minus N divided by S multiplied by 100. So for the assessment formula or scale, when getting the customer satisfaction, we should use the scale of 1 to 7. Then it can be calculated by adding up the sum of all scores and dividing the sum by the number of respondents. So for the customer retention, again, the formula would be CRR is equals to E minus N divided by S multiplied by 100. S stands for the customers you have at the start, E stands for the customer you have at the end, and N stands for the customers you have acquired during the period you are measuring. So the targets and performance thresholds. On the customer satisfaction, we should achieve 6.4% rate on the scale record by the end of 2023. And for the customer retention, we should achieve 90% of the CRR by the end of 2023. The source of data for the customer satisfaction would be the existing customers, and for the customer retention would be the survey and the data of the customers through their time-to-time visit. So the next would be the data collection frequency. And to acquire data for the customer satisfaction, we should do it daily. And to collect input for the customer retention, we should do it monthly. And for the reporting frequency, we should report the data for the customer satisfaction monthly, and for the customer retention is after 5 months. I mean every after 5 months. And for the data entry, these are the people who are responsible for collecting and updating the data. For the customer satisfaction, we have Shane De Los Reyes, the F&B manager, and for the customer retention, Mr. AJ Lopez, the restaurant sales manager. For the revision date of both factors, it would be annually. And upon validating our KPI, these are the questions that we need to consider. First, how much will it cost? Second, How complete is this indicator? And lastly, what are the possible unintended consequences? And for the first question, how much will it cost? On measuring the customer satisfaction, the cost is adjusted depending on the circumstances. And for the customer retention, the cost would be inexpensive. And for the second question, how complete is this indicator? For the customer satisfaction or the first response time, the data would provide us ideas on what areas we should improve and what aspects we are already proficient. And for the customer retention, the CRR would lay out statistics that is efficient on the improvement of the business. And lastly, what are the possible unintended consequences? So on the both factors, the respondents may be biased upon answering the survey, or they may have stereotypes on the industry. And that's all. Thank you.